Year, guys.
Hello.
Well, actually, this is
we're in the New Year.
We're in the New Year.
January is about to wrap
this month
up.
is flying by. Wow.
I hope it's been going well for you guys. It's been going good. We thank the Lord for that.
It's been going good. So we're excited about this, guys. We have some questions that some people have asked us that are concerning some of the messages that we've been teaching on. And what's interesting about that is when we do couple conferences and we do counseling sessions, people always ask the same question. And sometimes we are, because we've been doing it so long, we kind of take it for granted. This
people
particular
just
question, and so a lot of times we use words like "don't give up" and "you got to trust the process." But this particular question that was asked is a very good question. And to be honest with you, honey, when I first came to the Lord, this was one of the questions that I had. Because we hear this all the time in the ministry. We hear people say, you got to fight. You got to fight. You got to press. You got to fight. How do you fight? I mean, because now I know how to fight in the streets, right?
You know what? A physical fight. But
I'm pretty good with these things. I'm pretty good with these things now. I'm pretty good with these things, But how do you fight in the spirit? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we most of us get a physical fight, right? Yeah. But how do you fight in the spirit? What does it mean to fight for your marriage? You're not cornering your spouse and just going up. Well, what in the world does that mean?
Years ago, my wife and I, we were under a pastor, and I'm not going to mention the pastor's name, but it was years ago when I first came into the ministry, and he said he walks around the house and he beats his wife with the word.
Yeah, I know.
And he said he just pestered her and pestered her and pestered her, and it's almost like he beat her into submission to doing what he wanted to get done by using the word of the Lord. Guys, that's
not fight. That's not correct.
No, that's not how you fight, guys.
No, that's not.
That's been a bully. That's it's borderline abusive.
Yeah.
And it's manipulative, because when you continue to do something to get what you want out of a situation, you're manipulating that person.
You're just breaking somebody
when
down.
You're fighting in your marriage, it should never be a one-sided thing. This is what I want. This is what I want. That's manipulation. It should be a process that you and her or you and him come together on what it is you're going after. And together, you all pursue that particular goal. It shouldn't be one-sided.
Exactly. I love that. Can I throw in one quick question? Go ahead. Somebody out there might say, well, what if we're not quite at that point where we're both together? Is there something that spouse, as the other person is coming on board, and maybe they don't understand those things? Is it something that they can do to assist?
First of all, one of the things we want to tell you is, number one, marriage is a team sport. Don't ever forget that. Marriage is a team sport. And sometimes, just to be honest with you, the other person, they don't want to play no more. Yeah. And if they don't want to play no more, you can't force them to play no more. You can't make them to play no more. But here's what I want you to get now. Just because they don't love you, don't mean you're unlovable. So you got to love yourself, right?
That's true.
Just because they don't love you, just because they don't want to be with you no more, does not mean that you're unlovable and don't nobody want to be with you. There is somebody out there that will value you. There is somebody out there, and I'm telling you, one of my movies, it's an old song. It says this, it says, nothing is more attractive than the woman you had under the arms of another man. I'm telling you. You're like, oh my God. So how do you fight for your marriage? Number one, you got to understand that marriage is a team sport.
It's a team sport.
Both of us on the same team. We're pursuing the same thing. We're pursuing the same goal. If they don't want to fight no more, if they don't want to play no more, love yourself enough to just say, okay, I've tried. I've done everything in my power.
Okay, good.
So how do you fight? When my wife and I, we're talking about fighting, and we know that a lot of people listen to this broadcast. Some are Christians, some are not Christians. So let's speak to the Christians first.
All right.
Prayer. Pray. Here's what couples mess up in. They're praying on their own, but they're not praying together.
That's true.
You got to come together and pray. One of my favorite quotes, it says this: a family that prays together
stays together. And maybe when you're first going, sometimes you don't even know what to pray for. Or maybe you guys are at odds and you see things differently. You could at least come together and pray and say, God, let our marriage line up with your will for our lives. God, touch our marriage. Let it be all that you've called it to be. Let it be 100% consistent with your word, your will, and your desire for us. Even if you haven't figured out all the granular pieces, you could say, God, we're giving our marriage to you. Help us. Show us. Guide us. Open the eyes of our understanding. Help us to come together on one accord. You can do that.
To our brothers and sisters that may not be Christians, may not be whatever it is, talk, but listen. And if you can flip it around, sometimes you need to do more listening than you do talking.
And that goes for the Christians and the non-Christians as well.
Right.
Talk and listen.
You gotta listen, man. You gotta listen. Here's the thing.
For understanding. Oh my gosh, listen for understanding.
And here's what I want you to understand about listening. You don't get anything else out of this broadcast. I want you to get this. Listening is not waiting to talk.
No, that's just waiting to talk. Right. You're not listening.
You want to listen. And sometimes we're listening, but we're waiting on our turn. When is my turn? Okay. As soon as you get a pause, is it my turn to go? Sometimes you got to listen. Bishop,
it's called active listening.
Yeah,
active listening.
Here's me. I'm guilty of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I have to train myself sometimes. And then I hit her with this whatever that is. Are you finished? And then when I say that, she know I ain't heard that.
Like, oh, okay.
He ain't heard nothing I said. So she'll be like, when I say, are you finished? She knows I ain't heard nothing said. But, and I have to listen to my own advice. We're, 22 years in this? Or 20? A long time.
Almost 23 years.
We've been in a long time.
23 in May.
Listen to each other. Don't just talk, but listen.
And listen for an understanding. Listen for understanding. And if you don't understand, ask questions. Yeah. Listen, not with an attitude, not to get your point across, but truly listen with an open heart. God had to teach me this when you're listening and you're praying with an open heart to say, God, if it's something that I'm off on, not necessarily that you're wrong or right, but maybe my attitude just isn't right. It's something I need to do differently. It's a team sport. Everybody got something that they can do better at that sport.
Listen to this one, guys. Control. Yeah.
Because once it comes out,
you
can't take it back.
Control your tongue. It's amazing.
Close your mouth if you need to.
The words I hear that people say to this person. Now, I'm going to teach a series.
Goodness.
It's not going to be my wife. I'm going to teach a series later on this year because we don't understand our position in the home as men. Mm-hmm. And so when it says that out of your mouth flows blessings and curses, a lot of times, husbands, we've cursed the destiny of our children. We've cursed our finances. We've cursed our wife's future with our mouth. You got to watch what you say. Watch what you say. And stop using divorce as leverage, man.
Yeah, watch what you say. Watch what you say. And along those lines, watch what you say. You got to use wisdom with what you say. You got to consider timing. Sometimes something needs to be said, but it might not need to be said at that moment. Or nobody likes to be treated like a child, and you're telling them over and over and over. You got to walk in wisdom and how you do things. Even if it's the right thing that needs to be said, you got to let God guide you. Everything doesn't need to be said at that time and at that moment. And you don't have to tell them if somebody doesn't change immediately, because change is a process. Yeah. You don't have to tell them 20 times a day for a whole week. You got to walk in wisdom.
My wife says this all the time. She says, not what you say. And she says this right now. We're 23 years in, you said?
Almost 23 years.
And she would tell me all the time, she said, honey, it's not what you say, but it's how you say. What you say. Guys, this is something, we don't get discount tickets. This is something that we live by.
You got to talk to people,
We live by this. And sometimes I'm passionate about what some of the things I'm saying, but I'm saying them in the wrong voice. And I want to close with this point here. And I believe this is the one thing that has sustained our marriage. It has kept us. And I believe it's probably one of the most realest things, honey.
Okay.
And when you said this to me years ago, I got a wife that's she's really wise, guys. She's really wise beyond the years. But one of the things she said to me, she said, honey, she said, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's our time. But let me say this real quick. She said, honey, I know you're my best friend, and I know you never meant to hurt me. So what are you saying? Take your personal feelings out of it sometimes. Take your personal feelings. Separate yourself. Hey, listen, I know you love me, and you don't mean to hurt me. I know you love me. You don't mean to hurt me. And I may not apply to everybody, but some situations you need to just take the personal feelings out of it, and you need to really listen, man. You need to really listen to what they're saying. You know, you may need to cut back on what you're eating. She told me that one time. She bought me a treadmill, y'all. Can y'all believe that? She bought the bishop a treadmill. But what she was saying was, in so many words,
I care about
honey,
you.
I care about you.
I need you to be around for the long term. We got stuff we're trying to do and stuff we need to accomplish. I signed up for long term. I need you to work on what you need to work on.
So you got to take your personal feelings out of it, man. You know, if she's telling you you've outgrown that job, don't be taking it personal. What you be, you're like, what she's saying is there's more
so
to
much
you.
in you.
There's
and
more.
I believe in you.
There's more to
and
you,
I
man.
can see the vision.
Yes,
but
what
I can't do it for you. I got to get you on board.
If your husband is telling you, hey, listen.
All right, now, wait. I thought we were closing. Hold on.
I'm not a third grader. He's not saying, he's just saying, watch how you talk to me. Watch how you say this to me. All right, respect me. Because respect is something that we need. Okay. Men, we need that in the home. We got to have respect, right?
All right.
We just put some respect on my name.
We just couldn't end it on the man.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
I'm a team player. Now, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next week. We got a lot of other great information to share with you. As always, feel free to send us questions and comments. We want to make sure that the information that we're sharing is relevant and it's a help and a blessing to you.
God bless you guys.